Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I nearly missed afternoon. Mohammed Shukri in Bahrain, how do you do today?
I am doing very well, thank you, and welcome again.
Thank you. And and Phoebe Francis in Dubai, holding the fort in Dubai. How are you, Phoebe?
I'm very well. Greetings to all. Good to be with all of you.
Yes, absolutely, as it always is. And let me just do a very quick recap of who we are and why we're here. My name is Graham Moore, and it always has been. I am a Leadership Challenge certified master, and I haven't always been that, but I have for about 15 years. Leadership Challenge is the most widely recognized leadership development program globally, and the book is in the 7th edition. Just now, give me a list of all the books on leadership that are in 7 editions. 0. It's the Leadership Challenge, which is recognized for the robustness of the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. And we talk a lot about those practices in our discussion with my 2 wise facilitators who are in front of us both now. Now, I want to just ask you this. What is it about time? This has taken me too long to say this. And we've got to, right? It's important. Time is passing and we're just not getting things done. Don't you think?
Yes, yeah, everybody's eyes, when they start anything, the eyes are always on the watch. But what should we really watch?
Yes. But I used to do time management programs, and oh my gosh, people would say, if only I had an extra hour in the day. Well, guess what? They're only making 24, so you've got to make the most of them. That's it. They're not going to make an extra hour in the day. But what is it about leaders and time? Phoebe, your insights, your expertise, please.
Yeah, in many cases, what I observe is there are leaders who sometimes want to get things done faster. And one of my observations sometimes is either initiatives. Okay, let us do that. Let us do that. And what happens is the team is not prepared. Team is not ready. Team is not understanding the context well. And what happens in the process is the initial energy fizzles out. And sometimes, yes, the team is not on the rails and the entire project derails. So we have to also, as leaders, understand that sometimes it is to go slow in the beginning, which is important to get pace at the later stage of the project. So this is a topic which I sometimes see many of the leaders miss out. And how can we help them to highlight, okay, in leadership, it is not always about being fast, but it is also about how can we create real, durable things which can be built over a period of time.
Can I make a point before we listen to Mohammed? There are people who we interact with and who are part of our lives in a professional context who we do not want them to hurry doing what they're doing. A brain surgeon is one. If my brain is being operated on, I'm not going to say, can you do it faster? I've got things to do. This is costing me a lot of money. Hurry up and do it. No. An airline pilot, I'm not going to be saying, can you do the pre-flight checks quicker? Can you hurry up and get this organized? I'm in a hurry. No, we're not going to be wanting certain functions to happen quickly because the accuracy of what they're doing is vital. Absolutely. So how do we do this and focus on getting the job done in time, or what happens just a little bit later? Mohammed, over to you. The time is all yours.
I'm brought back to a very important, catchy TED talk by management leadership guru something. He mentioned that the triplet of management are around 3 things. Every manager, he didn't say leader, every manager has 3 things to deal with when he's doing his work. It is time, quality, and price. So he has to juggle the 3 in a way none of them should fall. And then he asked, so where are people? Why aren't people in those triplet? And then he said, because people comes under leadership. All right.
Yeah.
It's the leader who has people also in that, juggling. So now we have time, and time is critical for managing projects and managing the company. And time affects quality. If it's in a shorter time, the quality is less. If it's a longer time, then the customers complain, blah, blah, blah. All right. So they have to manage this. But the leader has people. And when people come into the equation, it is the people who will do manage these things for the leader if he, leads people correctly. All right. So, and people take time. Yes, they take time, but eventually, if they are led well, the results will be worth the time spent on building your team and leading your team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that's going through my mind when you say that, and it's concerning me and it's worrying me, and I'm thinking about the time pressure that I've got, and I'm worried whether I'm going to get this finished on time. So who starts that? It's the manager who will say, you please, this needs to be done in 3 days. You can't work any overtime. It must be done without a second of delay. Please get on with it now. This is a critical procedure or operation or whatever. Please do it now. What's likely to happen to little old me, who is the employee that on this man's team? What's going to happen to me when he says something like this to me? The
You'll
stress,
be under pressure, yeah.
yeah, the stress levels go up. So
Yeah.
managers are breeders of stress, right? They instill stress, if we can use that term, instilling stress into someone. I've never heard it said that way before, but they create the stress environment, and the individual has to be able to learn how to manage that stress. That's a whole different area. But the manager could be saying things that in terms of pressure, this has got to be done. If this is not done, I'm going to be hauled in front of the board and I'll take you with me. This has got to be done on time and on budget without a second delay. Oh, okay, right. I'll stay up all night and I'll do it. And the quality of the work that I'm doing is likely to suffer because in many cases of my mental state, when the pressure is put on me, because I'm going to miss things. I'm going to compromise on procedure. I'm going to forget key information because one person has put pressure on me. Little old me, what do I know about this thing? How can I focus? And I will likely make mistakes. Bibi.
I think you are trying to bring an important aspect here. How patients play a role in many of our workplaces. And I just want to bring in the incidents which we have come across with an airline manufacturer because of, rushed projects and also rushed launching, and how a lack of training has impacted that airline to withdraw a specific model. I don't want to name it. You all know that. So, are we modeling the way in that process as leaders in the organization? And I also want to link it with, the psychological safety, where can my team say, we are not ready yet to launch it? Can they openly highlight, we need additional time and effort? So, as a leader, am I modeling the way in order to make sure that employees' voice are coming out and that is being given appropriate care? So sometimes this rush to get things done create an environment, as you mentioned, of environment and a culture of fear. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to be getting punished for that. So that in many workplaces create an impact and toxicity. So what happens is, okay, my leader is modeling the way, which is not creating a culture of care, culture of patience, leading to the next level of members in the organization practicing the same, creating additional pressure down the line.
Last time we were talking, we covered, I believe, assumptions. So
Yeah.
Going through my mind now, when you talk about aircraft, where there's been rush, I feel, and when I get on the aircraft, I feel that it is going to be safe. I am making a big assumption that the aircraft was built in an appropriate time frame and there were no rushes and no shortcuts. But I don't feel that when I'm making the booking or when I'm checking in that I should ask, excuse me, before I take the boarding pass, can you just tell me whether there was any rush to get this aircraft completed? Can you just tell me that they covered everything? No. So we make assumptions that it's all going to be safe. That's what we need to do. But let's look for a moment, expanding on what Phoebe has just said about how a leader, given circumstances of need to finish in a certain time, or need to finish on budget, or need to do this because the client is waiting for it. But we know that there are often time constraints. So what is a manager? Let's give some practical attention to this. What is a leader likely, or what he should do in this situation? We know there's crisis, we know there's imperatives, we know there's time requirements, we know there's a budget. What should the leader do when setting this up?
So let's give this a metaphor, all right? If you had no team and you are if you want to achieve a specific process, or commission a process in your company, all right, and there's a panel there, all right, like control panel, and there are certain buttons you push, and certain knobs or commands you give through your screen. These are the commands you give, and immediately the process will start, stop, whatever, all right, regulate. I'm talking about a little more technical because of my background. And that's straightforward. It doesn't, delay. It doesn't disobey. It doesn't take time. But now you are taking a step back and you are still responsible and accountable to achieve this process, to make this process run. But let us imagine you are promoted now, and now there are people between you and that control panel. There are people who should push these buttons, monitor the process, regulate everything, and you can no longer immediately have no access to those commands. Okay, you have a team in the control panel, in the control room, all right? Now, what are the commands you give to the people so that they do the job as well as you were doing it, in the same quality, speed that you were doing it? It is not a direct click. It is not a direct push button. The buttons of humans are different than the buttons of those control room. And time is an essential element of those humans. So it starts from taking time. Who do you select in your team? Who do you put in the right place? That takes time, okay? But it's worth it because you're picking the right people. And then when you teach someone, coach someone, it takes time to prepare them and coach them. It takes time to follow up and say, what do you need? Are you okay? To touch base, etc. But when you do that for your team, the time you have invested is a time that will save you a lot of time and a lot of disasters. And at the end, fire backing at you any time. So with people, as Stephen Covey says, okay, when it comes to people, fast is slow, and slow is fast. So we want fast results. Get on with it. I need this by Monday, etc. It doesn't happen like this. You will get slow results, bad results. But if you go slowly, doesn't mean take time, by the way. Slowly means taking time with the people in order to do the things right. So when you go slowly with people, and the results will surely be fast, will surely be efficient at the end of the day.
I think just to add on when Mohammed mentioned that, it is like inspiring a shared vision that is coming to my mind, in that process with the people. How am I inspiring them? And as a leader, how does patience influence a leader's ability to craft and communicate? So that is what coming to my mind. And what I sense is, how workforce benefits when leaders are patient enough to nurture commitment rather than demand sometimes immediate acceptance. I want it now. And how it impact and how it emotionally damage many of the times, because sometimes people in leadership, especially in positions of power, fail to understand the current workload, whether the team is having some current priorities which they are working. And it is always good to check in with them. What are our immediate 3 4 priorities? Do you have space for additional one? What kind of support mechanism I should be providing in order to achieve that new vision which we are uh, bringing in. And here is, as Mohammed mentioned, going slow to build the relationship, and how it in the period of time yield better outcome faster.
Yeah, look, I just want to say, I think it's a fantastic example that you brought up, and that is inspire a shared vision. We are not going to climb that mountain tomorrow. It takes time. And so when the leader with the team decide this is where we're going to go, this is the overall objective, we might say, when do we need to be there? Well, we should be able to get to that outcome, that vision, in about 18 months. Okay, great. What do we need to do along the way to make sure we're on track to get there? And tied into that, of course, is the development, coaching, you use the word coaching as well, coaching of the team members. The coaching process doesn't happen in a quick conversation in the elevator or as I'm walking past you when you're getting a drink of water from the water cooler. These are obviously going to take time. Some of these items take a little bit of time to revisit later on because it didn't work tonight. We're building on it. We're increasing every time. We're taking small but positive steps. So we can't instantly have someone turn into an A+ student when they just joined the class. So leaders have got to be aware of the time frame and focus on developing perhaps step by step, but making these things positive and focusing on the longer time process. Let me come back now to a short term. We've got to have this job done. It's just come to us from the customer. The customer wants this, or the board want this, or whatever. These are the things that it's urgent, and we need to have it done by Friday. So let me just say that Mohammed is the person I'm going to ask to do this, to take this particular task on, and there is significant time pressures in order to achieve this. Here's one of the first things that I'll be saying to Mohammed. So Mohammed, do you know, you've looked at the brief or the request, do you understand this? And there's a pretty good chance Mohammed will say, yeah, I think so. I'm then going to say, Mohammed, if you've got any queries about any element of this that you don't understand, come and talk to me about it at any time, okay? And then I'll say, Mohammed, what are the easy things in this for you? Do you understand the easy things to do? Yep, okay, I understand. Okay, great. And what are the more difficult things, or what are the unknowns in this for you? Oh, well, okay. With the unknowns, if there's any stumbling block or hurdle that you get to because you didn't know something or because something else has arisen, please come and talk to me about it. And together we will resolve it so that you can move forward. I want you to know, Mohammed, that I am absolutely committed to helping you get through this with all the help that you need. And you will get there in the time frame that's been set out for us. Is that okay, Mohammed? What's Mohammed going to say?
Of course.
Of course.
It's okay.
That structure is giving him confidence in being able to move forward and do it, knowing that he can come and talk to me rather than me micromanaging and shouting over the balcony, over the petition, have you finished that yet? Oh, I can look at it and check it. Libby.
Yeah, actually, this also lead us to the third and fourth practice of leadership challenge. The challenge the process where you are exploring with the other members in the team. And in a way, you are also enabling others to act, saying that I'm here to support in this process, to take it forward. And I think that is a beautiful way a leader can inspire action. One is challenging the process where innovation happens within the organization. What can we do differently? And enabling others to act is, okay, you have the freedom to act in that process. And this give, thought a space in the minds of people. Okay, I can make mistakes in this process, and that is okay too. And that helps the people in the workforce to act. Okay, maybe my mistakes are considered okay as a step to move forward. So that is effective leadership in display by the leader who is saying that.
But Mohammed, what about relationships and the importance of the relationship in this situation?
Well, I was going to say something around that. I like this metaphor, like our bodies, okay? Uh, we are often too busy to take care of our bodies, okay? And we always postpone the time we take for ourselves and for exercise, for meditation, for whatever to take our, because we don't have time. That comes later. I have work to do. I have, deadlines, etc. Only to find out at some stage that our bodies no longer respond positively to us, and the time we thought we have has gone into wasted time periods in hospitals, God forbid, and in treating myself, getting away from my family, my life, my work, because I didn't take care of my body, and now I am on alarm. So it's a paradox. If you don't have time for you to take care of your body, then your body will take time from you at the end. But if you take care of your body, all right, you are buying more time and efficiency, wellness, and your body will have a good relationship with you. All right. So we have to take care of the people like we take care of our body, because that buys us time and quality time, and also give us much better, healthier results, healthier and work environment, etc. Tom Peters always used to say, take care of people and people will take care of the business. You take care of your body and your body will take care of yourself. So that's the relationship in leadership.
You're reminding me of an old expression. That's not just because I'm an old person using this expression that I'm saying it's an old expression. I'm not an old person. But this old expression, which I must have heard from my father, it's just two words in English. And it's these two words: hasten slowly. Hasten means to move, right? Move.
Yeah, yeah.
Slowly. And what does that mean? It means checking that you got everything right. Making sure that your well-being, in this case, as you've just mentioned, is a priority as well. We're hastening, we're moving, but we're doing it slowly, and so that we are taking account of the important things that we need to take account of. That's one way to
Beautiful.
next time in a business sense like this. So, Phoebe, please.
Another aspect which I sense from the conversation is, how we are encouraging the team. What are we doing to celebrate the small wins in our journey? Are we taking that, like the slowness to recognize the people in that process? Whether, and this encouragement, the genuine encouragement, how can we do that consistently so that people are inspired to move in with the vision which we have? And another aspect is, it also creates a spirit of connection, a spirit of loyalty, a spirit of togetherness, which comes from that simple act of recognition in the workplace. So Are we patient enough to recognize the simple milestones we achieve?
Yes. And look, if I'm the leader and I've just given Mohammed this very difficult project that needs to be done by a certain time, and of course, in Mohammed's case specifically, he's going to be thinking of the impact on the health and safety and be aware of compromises that some people may make in order to get the job done, but that can compromise health and safety. Correct, Mohammed, because they're rushing and they're not taking account of all the more important.
Yeah.
At least I've got the job done. So what I want to suggest here is that when the relationship is really strong and it's I'm caring about my people, I'm supporting my people, I'm not micromanaging, but we've got a time limit, and that's where we expect it to be done. Then when it is done, even along the way when I might be saying, so how are you going? Are you still on track? Yeah, I am. Okay, that's great. Good on you. Well done. So I'm going to be encouraging along the way. And then when it's finished and he brings or she brings me the final report or whatever it's been done and say, yep, it's done. The aircraft has taken off successfully. I'm just going to say 2 words, but there's going to be so much genuineness in these 2 words that that team member will be really pleased with what they've achieved. And I'm just going to say, well done.
Mm.
That simple, well done, even when it's huge project, when it's genuine, it absolutely resonates with the person who's given a lot to it. Now, one little side point here, and that is that we know that some people thrive on timelines. They thrive on a commitment that has to be met by a certain time. And others don't. They don't like that. They easily take up the stress, and that can affect performance. So a leader should be aware of this as well, with the different personalities that he's got on the team, and not wanting them to be working so hard that they are going to make mistakes or that it's going to be missing out on looking after their health and their well-being. And some things take time. If I'm developing someone, it's not just a one and done. If it's a coaching process, it will take time to grow leaders. To grow the tallest tree in the forest takes time. To grow resilience with people, to grow support and the people wanting to be where we're going and helping all together, it takes time, and there are no shortcuts, but there are positive things that we can say and do that will get a good result. I'm flick passing to Phoebe because I know you've got some words of wisdom, as you always have.
Graham, what is coming to my mind is, distinguish between urgency and importance. To
Yes.
prioritize thoughtful actions. That is number 1, which is coming to my mind. Then see how as leaders we can use patience as a strategic tool to balance speed with also our quality decisions. And sometimes as leaders develop habits that promote reflection, because quite often reflection doesn't happen in our workplace and work environments. And how can we bring in learning even under pressure situations which we may be going through? So from a leadership perspective, framing patience as strength and resilience is also important.
Yes. Mohammed?
I think I said all what I have to say, especially in taking time. And I'm reminded always when my kids were young, I wanted fast results. Get on with your homework, and I, toughen my tone, and always the results were not there. It was short term. Okay, they stay for a little time. They happen fast, but they stay for a little time. That's opposed to when I have a relationship with my children, and that relationship will bring not only the results we both wanted, and or the parent wants, but results that you did not expect. Because once you empower people, once you believe in them, once you lead them, right, they will do wonders that no other time would have brought this. to fruition.
Yeah, and when you talk about the wonders and the development of people, the example that's going through my mind is if a leader sees that one of the teams not having a good day, and it might be the team member who's just been given that major exercise to do, and the time frame that we need the report done, or we need the airplane built in 3 weeks or whatever. And if I, as a leader, notice that this, there might be an issue with that person, I'm going to just quietly go to him and say, let's go and have a coffee. And for the first 10 minutes of that coffee, we won't even talk about the issue at hand. Just because I've said come and have a cup of coffee, it doesn't mean that I'm going to say, okay, let's sort this problem out. No, I'm going to spend a little bit of time, such as fathers should be doing with children from an early age. And that absolutely returns buckets of gold when you spend time with people like this. So time is important for leaders in all respects. Time with people, not rushing, not saying, well, you just tell me your problems and I'll sort them out and we'll get on with life. No, spend time when you can, as much as you can. And the results, as you said, Mohammed, are there in bucket loads. Okay, gentlemen, I think this has been a time well spent. And remember my little phrase of hasten slowly. I haven't used that for a long time, but it really means think about what we're doing and don't just rush into it. And think of the time that we can get great results. Gentlemen, a quick final word. We've got time.
Yeah, something coming to my mind is patience is a leadership skill essential for sustainable success. Sustainability of our actions depend on patience.
Yes, it is a leadership skill. Yes, thank you, Mohammed.
Again, take time with people before time takes you and people away, and results will be not desirable.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you for being with us. Those of you who are listening to us or watching the video, we will look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you.